Like always, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome. You are with the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network with the one, the only Sunday Rise. Sunday, April the 13th, 2025. We here for you. Sorry, we on BPT. I know it's 11:16. We supposed to been on here at 11. We on BPT. But before we came on air officially, had to make sure we had a little problem last Sunday with the locks on the doors and the hinges, people getting out of control a little bit. So I had to have maintenance reinforce it, longer screws, bigger deadbolts. So we not gonna have no problems this Sunday, right? All right. We've gotten to a point now where we're hanging up the 24 karat gold collection plates and the platinum collection plates. They're decorations now because we got right behind your seat. If you look behind your seat, you got a card reader. You can just tap your phone. We don't even want the money no more. Because in order to save money, we fired the people to count money because we don't need it no more. You just hit that little thing on your phone and you slide that donation in there. It comes straight to us. No middleman. No middleman. So, hey, when that thing light up, we won't even call for the donations anymore. You're just going to see a light pop up. When that light pop up, you know what to do. And if that light ain't settled, we know where to dispatch security to. That's all I'm saying. So,
isn't it correct that they can just, if they want to break us off, they can just hit that little star thing down there if they want.
And that's another, hey, if you hear, you see the stars in the comments, you want to send us some stars, that's cool too. You know, but in the congregation, we expect, we have a certain standard that we expect. And if your section hasn't settled, it's that it's going to send an electronic alert to security, and we're going to take care. You're going to handle it properly. I'm just saying, we don't want to get to that point. We're here for fun. We're here to pass out some information and get you started right on your Sunday. Isn't that right? And with that being said, I am the boss B. The gentleman above me, I have the gentleman Jack and the Midnight Rider. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
This morning, because it's springtime, I'd like to bring you our first reading inspired by the ladies that they have thick thighs and they wear those jeans with the slits in this thing, and you see the thigh meat hanging out. Oh. So this first reading this morning is brought to you by Thickalations 3:16. It says, "Damn, thank you." First reading.
Thickalations. I like it.
All right, we can continue with the show. I'm sorry, man. I just had to get the first reading. You know, we passed the collection plates. We might as well have some readings this morning. You know,
you want to get the people a little something. You know, that's all. We just providing. You know,
something for your soul, man. Something for your soul.
That's it. That's it. Take care of us. We're gonna take care of you. That's all we saying. With that being said, gentlemen, what are we jumping into first? Are we jumping into? Are we talking about the NBA playoffs? Are we going to just touch on the NHL playoffs? Y'all want to go over the standings in the Masters? Are we going to talk about what you're going to be talking about forever? Is this the college football NIL? You know what I mean? Where are we going?
You know what? Let's start with Nico. I believe I can fly. And his whole Tennessee ordeal with the NIL, because that's pretty interesting to me. And now gives people some time to catch up, because I know the Masters is going on right now, so we can kind of catch up and update our leaderboard or whatever's going on while we walk through this. And I'll take, if you don't mind, I'll take the lead if you don't mind.
You take the lead. Go right ahead. You take your time.
This kid got an NIL of 2.4 throughout the course of his career. Through his junior year, he was going to make about $8 million for playing at Tennessee. He saw Carson Beck and another person signed at their respective schools for about $4 million apiece. So he went back to the Tennessee conglomerate and said, I need more money. I need $4 million because of Beck getting 4, I deserve 4. And I think this is the beginning of the problem we're going to have. And this is why I think we've seen teams start getting general managers and other people. Excuse me, gotta bring my hat back. You're going to see the teams have these general managers and start having these contracts with these kids because something's got to happen. And the other thing that I forgot about, and I saw some people talk about taxes. Like, where are these kids paying these taxes at? Are they paying taxes? Are taxes being taken out? Is this a taxable income? Like, I feel like the NCAA right now is setting these kids up to fail with this money and the money they're getting. And nobody has put any boundaries, any kind of framework to make this work. And what we're at right now is the beginning part of the debauchery that is college football and college sports.
Yep. And then you probably gonna end up getting these boys on tax evasion and shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
They can't play their sport. They're gonna be in jail all amped up.
Yeah.
Let me take it from this side. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you good.
Okay.
Your mic sounds nice.
1, 2.
Check
Look,
one.
I'm gonna go on the other side of this. Midnight Rider mentioned something that I've been saying for a long time. This is brand new, right? They haven't set boundaries. And until you start implement, you're going to have this the next couple of years because it's brand new. You got to see where what's going. If you work with somebody, and I always try to bring it back down to us, our normal people. If you come in, if you see somebody come in making more money than you've been doing a job 2 years, it's only right that you go and say, hey, such and such came in at $25. I've been making $20 the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I was looking at his stats. I didn't have a chance to see where his stats compared with other college players, but it seemed like he had really good stats, dual threat. I don't have a problem with this, right? To a certain extent. But here's the thing. If you do this, Tennessee has the right to be like, hey, we're moving on. And that's what they did. It's over. Now instead of getting what you got, now you got to go find a whole nother team. So that's part of the consequence. If you do this, if you, I don't want to say not in touch with what's going on, maybe he could have went about it a different way. But I don't really have a problem with it. But they're going to have to reel this in. I've said over and over again, boundaries have to be set. It's just the wild, wild west right now. I always say the NCAA has been getting their money for years, money on top of money. So now you can't fault these guys for coming in here, because some of these guys won't have a career after this. This is it. If this was 20, 30 years ago, this would be enough money for a lifetime. Now, like you said, you got taxes, you got agents, you got everything else. Unfortunately, you're going to probably see more kids fall harder from the sky than you would normally have seen, coming from the NFL, getting a little bit of money, 2-3 years, and now you're completely broke. You're not playing no more. But I still like it because it gives these kids an opportunity to provide. And like I said, if they're paying these kids this type of money, the NCAA is still making money. It just tells you how deep this pool is for the NCAA. This is nothing to the NCAA. This is chump change. It's still chump change.
Think about it like this. I went to George Mason. George Mason had that run in 2005 where they made the Final Four, something like that. They still building buildings off of that change they got from the Final Four run.
Yeah,
like the school has changed the whole complexion of the property. Like I went back last year for Josh's graduation, and I didn't get a chance to go into the campus, but I could tell already just pulling up to the Eagle Bank Arena that things were different, and it looked a whole lot different than what it was when I was there. They tore down the greatest section known to man. Shout out to the apartments, room 204. That's where I used to reside. Shout out to that, baby. But nah, it's crazy, man. Crazy work out here for for these schools and the money they're getting. And I don't want to seem like I'm against the kids getting money. What I'm against is the problems they're going to face. We're going to have, in the next 2 years, we're going to start having ESPN 30 for 30s talking about kids that got NIL money and then they fell flat on their face. They got busted. They're broke. They're in debt, all that stuff. Because you see all these cats grabbing all these fancy chains, but I ain't seen nobody, and you can't see it, but, are cats really opening savings accounts? Are cats putting this money to work? Are cats even making sure they pay the taxes? Like you guys said, in jail for tax evasion. Like, we got so much on this thing. There's so much meat on this bone that you got to work through it. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot to work through, bruh. Sorry, I know, but there's a lot of stuff that these people are dealing with, and the structures, we don't have the right structures in place to protect these kids from the money that is falling into their hands. And this is life-changing money for most normal people.
And I'm going to put this on the universities because you have everything in place. I watched a clip. I don't know if you've seen the clip of John Gruden going to Wisconsin to talk to those kids. You seen that? Great shit. If you haven't seen that, just take a minute. John Gruden goes, I think they're in spring training, goes to Wisconsin, gives them 4 points, and I almost got up and taped my ankles up. All right, let's go, coach. Let's go, baby. But they have everything set up for these kids: weights, food, practice, body, this. It would be, and we're talking about kids now, okay? Now, I know we got some 24, 5-year-old, but it would be in the university's best interest, because it's so much money, to have financial people to teach these kids what's what, to show them, hey, out of this check of the money, if taxes aren't coming out, this is what you're responsible for. We're going to make sure you pay that. It's just one of those things now. And like we talk about all the time, some of us came up in schools, they didn't teach financial literacy. They didn't teach stock market and real estate and how to do your taxes and how to what you're looking for when you go buy a car, the interest rate and how you break that down. And if you make this much, is how much you expect in your check and how much time. They didn't teach us that. You had to come out here in the real world and learn this. So I think that could get some of these kids ahead and help, because you're still going to have ones that's going to ball out, chains, Hellcats. You're going to have it. You can't, once they're 18, you can't tell them what to do with their money. And that's where it's a whole list of stuff. Good parenting, solid household, that plays a big part into this too. You still want to have kids to fall off the cliff, but if it's not a whole bunch and just a couple, because you've taught financial literacy, you've taught them what to expect from their money, you've shown them, hey, this is, if you keep this spending habit up, you'll be broke in 3 years. You know what I'm saying? If you teach them that, I think that'll help a lot. And I would like to know how many schools have this in place. I would like to know that, because like I said, this is a if you're giving something out, and I'm not trying to be funny, if you have places around here that, and I think this is every type of every city and state that actually give needles and drugs to people, and their philosophy is, we'd rather give it to you here and show you how to use it than you be out there using dirty needles. I know this is a bad analogy, but this is all I got right now. The cup of coffee I made wasn't strong enough. So on the flip side, if you got a new thing where you're giving these kids money, you need to show them how to be responsible with it. And the main thing, like Midnight Riders and Jack said, these taxes, you're going to have it where these kids are going to be in trouble by the time they're 20. They're going to be knee deep in taxes they can't pay no more. Because if you come out and for whatever reason you get cut from the football team because you've been acting a fool outside off campus, where are you going to go when you make $1.5 million? You're not going to go. You're not going to make it at Wendy's. and you got to have $1.5 million worth of taxes to kind of like to pay. Like that's good luck on that.
Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Both of you guys make good points. Like I say, they just opened the floodgates when this whole NIL thing started up. I don't feel that they put enough guidelines in place in the beginning, you know. So I don't know. Who knows how long it's going to take to fix this? But you know, over in Tennessee, you got a young man that's making 2.4 mil. All of a sudden, I want 4 million. So Tennessee said, "Yeah, good riddance. Take a walk. We're gonna roll with this redshirt freshman now."
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know if a redshirt freshman gonna be able to lead that program this year, but we will see. The ballers are coming up bigger and stronger at younger ages nowadays. So I look forward to seeing what happens on this Tennessee roller coaster here.
I mean, if that young man wants to secure a good, proper education, he can come to the University of Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman and I will make sure that he is okay. He's well suited. You know what I'm saying? Because Maryland don't want him. Maryland's got Malik Washington.
Maryland ain't got the money. Maryland ain't got the money to do that.
From UCLA. So with this in mind, I, the Midnight Rider, speak on the behalf of the S-Curl coach, Marcus Freeman, and I believe that you can find a home, Nico. At
Now,
Notre Dame.
Now, we'll say this. We've talked about my Terps numerous times. If you do have the money, and this is hypothetical, this is where your program can change completely.
Yeah.
This is where you could get somebody in there and you could possibly win 9 to 10 games and make a difference if you can afford. I don't think they can afford them, but if they can, and this go for any university. This go for, if you're in the Big Ten and you got to fight Michigan and Ohio State and Penn State, and you go get this kid now, you just jump, not leapfrog, but you just made it interesting. So that I don't think he's out of it. I think he's going to get close to what he wants. Somebody's going to grab him.
I mean, I don't know what SMU's quarterback situation is, but SMU is the perfect school for somebody like this kid. They run a wide open offense. Baylor's the place that this kid, Texas Tech, Texas A&M. Texas A&M is one quarterback away from being in the top 3 of the SEC. They got the talent. If you watch and pay attention to this draft and you look at the defensive players coming out, there's 4 defensive linemen that either started at Texas A&M and transferred or is still at Texas A&M. We're talking about Nick Skirton. We're talking about Shamar Stewart. They got guys. They got bodies. They got players. 4 years ago, they had the number 1 recruiting class 4 years ago, and 3 years ago they had the number 2 recruiting class. So it's ballers out there. So I got you.
I got you.
My bad. Comment. My boy J Dub started off.
Jack.
Good morning, fellas. What's up, J Dub?
What's up,
hey, J Dub? I heard some stories yesterday when I was hanging out with your boy Jack.
Oh boy,
J Dub.
Oh boy.
Just tell them about the good old boys, Jack. Just tell them about the good old days.
Hey, J Dub, you weren't there to defend yourself. You gonna have to hop on the show, man.
You ain't got nothing to defend. It was all good chit chat.
Good morning, guys. It's a beautiful day for baseball at the corner of Carnegie and Ontario. If you don't know where that is Progressive Field. That is our guy, Matty Ice, catching them some baseball, some Guardians. Oh, damn, I didn't put my baseball bets in yet.
You got time.
Oh, I know I got time. Trust me, bro.
You see that Oriole one last night? Vlad costed us.
Oh, dog. So Kirk and what you call it? So I'm sorry. We're talking like BJ was with us. So BJ, when we hung out yesterday, Jack Carr and I at Miller's Ale House in Annapolis Mall. If you want some good food, the burgers were off the chain.
They were.
They got like 48 beers on tap. I know this ain't a commercial for them, but I mean, I don't know what.
A shameless plug.
Shameless plug. This segment was brought to you shamelessly by Miller Ale. But nah, dog, the food was good. The vibe was nice. Shout out to our bartender Mason. Dude was the coolest. Yeah.
Hey Jack, when you clip, make sure you clip this and you tag Miller's Ale House in this.
Hell yeah, dog. But nah, we had a good time, man. The place was cool. Jack was talking to some shorty with the Celtics jersey on. She had like a Tatum jersey.
Yeah, man.
I was scared for a little bit because she looked like she was being accosted, but she was cool with it, man. She had fun. She was messing with us. She found out I was a Lakers fan, and
no,
yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, it was on that.
Yeah. Nah, we was just out there networking, socializing, you know.
That's how we do.
Doing our
we gotta
thing,
do. We gotta let the people know who the sideline junkies are, and what we represent, what we bring into the table, man. We the new kids on the block, so we gotta, you know, we gotta really, you know.
You gotta start throwing some bows, man. Let people know that we around.
They gonna know soon enough.
We're gonna let them know that podcasting is a contact sport, baby.
I like that. We gonna have to put that on the shirt.
Yeah, baby.
All right, gentlemen. I think we're gonna save the
Hold on.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Matty Ice. Midnight Rider just trying to raise his. Hey, man.
That's it.
Some of us got started at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? I'm number 6. It's all good. It's all good.
You say you bringing up the rear?
Nah, dog. I ain't say that.
We all just don't start out on top like Matty Ice, you know.
Hey, look. Somebody got to be number one.
I'm gonna say it like this. It's no surprise. We got cloudy skies. We got the Sunday rise. Lakers in 5. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
The Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh,
we get to them.
And just like that, my man, boom. Jason Tatum, verbatim, inflame labrum. Lakers in 5.
Oh, geez, y'all guys. Lakers go down in 5?
No, sir, baby.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Y'all think y'all's hopes are all up being Lakers now, but
I'm gonna tell you right now, Jack. I won't talk to you during the only time I'll talk to you is during the show. My obligated time.
So y'all are already penciling in the Celtics and the Lakers in the finals.
I'm just letting them know if it happens.
Lakers ain't making it.
We gonna be there.
All right, so I mean, we jumping into this. We talking
you couldn't
about
be
it
there
now.
if you had Michael Jackson with you.
Let's dive into
dog. You gotta look at the man in the mirror because you gotta get past the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Cleveland gonna fold like an old rusty chair. They gonna fold in the second round.
Okay, if you say so, bro. We
gonna be in my neighborhood.
Let me say
something. Like the Jackson 5. We'll be there.
Let me say
That's
something.
the only way you'll be there if you roll in with the Jackson 5.
Dog, you don't want this smoke, bro. I'm keep telling y'all. We got LeBron, we got Luka, and we got Austin Reeves. What are you talking about? This is America, baby. We here to shine.
LeBron ain't gonna play every day.
Look, I'm gonna tell you like this. We gonna shine. We're going back to the days when Vivica Fox was fine. And we're gonna walk the line. And guess what? Lakers in 5. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, we'll see.
All right, before we dive into the NBA, I mean, just at the playoff bracket as it stands right now.
Hey, Jack, you might have hit the thing for the standings.
No, I got it. You ain't gotta hit it. Well, I'm good. Unless you want to show the people.
Yeah, let's show
of course. Let's do the East first. The Cavaliers are first. They're waiting for that mess they call the play-in. We have the Boston Celtics, number 2. They're also waiting for the mess that they call the play-in. 3rd and 6th seed would be the 3rd seed would be the New York Knicks, and the 6th seed would be Detroit Pistons. Look, shout out to the Detroit Pistons. Making the playoffs, getting in the playoffs, big step. I love that for them because a couple years ago they were in purgatory. So shout out to them. I love seeing teams that haven't been there in a while pop back in. The fourth and fifth, fourth seed is the Indiana Pacers, and the fifth seed would be the Milwaukee Bucks. I guess I have to read this to be official. I don't want to, but the ninth, or the seventh and the eighth seed, the seventh seed would be the Orlando Magic, and the eighth seed would be the Atlanta Hawks. That would be your one playing game. The other playing game would be the ninth seed Chicago Bulls and the 10th seed Miami Heat. Just take them out to the pasture and end their misery now, please. I'm so tired of this playing stuff. Now let's go to the West. Let's go to the power. We got number one seed OKC. The number two seed is the Houston Rockets. Shout out to the Rockets. Shout out to the Rockets. We have, who the hell is this?
Hey, Jack, you got that back?
Who is?
Sleeping.
Yeah, for the West. Okay.
Here we
All
go.
right. So the third seed LA Lakers, the sixth seed Golden State Warriors would be one matchup that's set right now. The fourth seed Denver Nuggets just fired their coach, would be hosting the fifth seed LA Clippers. Their playoff scenario in the West, the seventh seed Minnesota Timberwolves hosting the eighth seed Memphis Grizzlies, and then you have the ninth seed Sacramento Kings with the 10th seed falling off the cliff, Dallas Mavericks. Now, gentlemen, let's dive into the NBA for a second since we're talking about the NBA. Let's get this, man. I got a couple of questions I want you guys to talk about before we dive deeper into the Lakers, the Celtics, or whoever. I wanted to say this. I think Cleveland has a really good team, but I think they're going to be where Boston was a couple of years ago before they won their chip, where they're going to have to learn how to win playoff ball. And I think that's what Cleveland is. I think when they get to that second round, depending on how the matchups line up, and you get a more experienced team, Milwaukee's a more experienced team. The Knicks have been there. Of course, Boston. That's when you're going to see – you might see a separation. Now, I hope they go in shooting and they're ready. I think the team that's ready to make that jump is OKC. They've been there. They've got to the West Finals. They lost in the playoffs over and over. They have the experience. They have kind of the same nucleus. I'm just interested. I think the wild card for me in the West are the Nuggets because of the coaching situation. I was really rooting for the Nuggets. I'm rooting for West. It's interesting to see what the young Rockets, going to do. Now I'm gonna turn it over to these guys, and I'm gonna talk about the Lakers for a second, right? I've been saying when Anthony Davis was on that team wasn't going to work unless Anthony Davis took over that team and made it his team. Right. And you're seeing that happen with Luka. Luka's taking over this team. He's the guy with the ball in his hand, not LeBron. That's what needed to happen. LeBron cannot do that anymore. I've been saying this for the last 4 years. Right? So they finally got that situation. Lakers are scary. I'll give it to them. Boston is Boston. I think for them, as long as they got the second seed, they don't care about the first seed. They know what they can do. They're probably resting up some people. For them, it's get to the playoffs. It's not about the first seed. I don't think they're really concerned with Cleveland. That's just my opinion with Boston. I don't think they're really concerned with Cleveland. I think for Boston, the concern for Boston would be New York. I really think New York is the matchup. Like Boston is going to have to play their asses off to get out of that series. I really want to see that Boston-New York series. So with that, without further ado, I'm going to let these guys really kind of jump into the nitty-gritty and get their opinions on the matchups and what they think is going to happen. Because y'all already heard a little bit of it, that Boston and the Lakers fireworks. But I want to hear about the rest of the team. Well, let the gentleman, Jack, Let the gentleman Jack hit first, and then we'll go right. But I know y'all gonna interrupt each other, and y'all gonna go back and forth. So it don't even matter who starts first.
Well, over in the East, Cleveland's been riding that number one spot for some time now. As I said the other day, their last 20 games, weren't as good as their first 60. So I expect them to make a second round exit in the playoffs. The hottest teams in the East right now are the Celtics and the Magic. The Celtics have been hot playing backups the last couple games. They had all backups in their last game, and the game before that, they put in all backups second half. And I like that because I feel it's getting them boys to get some shots up and, get the feeling before the playoffs start. We got one of the best six-man in the league in Peyton Pritchard. So you got to watch out. I think Boston might have been bored during the regular season, and now it's playoffs. They ready to rock. I'm going to let you go to the East, Midnight Rider, so I don't just jump to the West, and we'll go to the West together. Then what do you see here in the East, man?
I mean, I think it's real simple. I think the Knicks will be there to play around and make somebody go to a game 7, but it's really Cleveland versus Boston. That's the main event in this, and whoever wins, it don't matter. You could go downtown, you can go uptown, you could do Jaylen Brown, Lakers in 5. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well,
We're winning this no matter how you do this. So we're gonna get our 19. You're gonna have to pay Jack Wagner his money, run him his coins. You know what I'm saying?
He ain't run nothing up the flagpole, so I ain't got to pay nobody no coins.
So Jack Wagner says, "Yeah, baby, let's go LA." Matty Ice says upset special for the first round, Detroit over the Knicks. That could happen. I mean, the Detroit team is nice, but at a certain point, don't we have to expect this? This is a team that the last 3 or 4 years have had top 5 picks every year. So I mean, at some point they got to be good, right? They got to be better. And then Booney jumps off. OKC is more ready than Cleveland. However, the West is deeper than the East, with many more experienced teams than the East, which makes it tougher road for OKC than say a Cleveland. Totally agree, bro. Totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I just think the East is going to come down. I think the cream of the crop. The East is so spread out that it literally tells you, or it differentiates. If you go back to the standings, you can see in the standings where the difference is.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a whole bunch of teams clogged up in one spot. They're separated by a bunch of games. I think Boston and Cleveland were the only 2 over 60 wins.
Correct.
And then you come back to everybody else, and it's like the 3 through 6 got like over 42 wins. And then you got the last 2 teams that barely last 4 teams barely have 40 wins.
Mm-hmm.
It tells me automatically that they're not ready. You know what I'm saying? They're going. It's going to be a struggle, and I think as long as the cream rises to the top, we should be looking at a Boston Cleveland Eastern Conference final.
Let me ask you guys a question. If you're the GM of the Philadelphia 76ers, you're not even in the playoff game, playing games. What are you doing this offseason?
I'm glad you said that, because that's the perfect segue to the second reading for this show, and it's a book. It's from the book of Ja Morant. You're just going to shoot it up. We're going to blow it up. Yeah, we're blowing it up. Because if you don't blow it up, it ain't nothing happening. I mean, I think they got to move and be. I think they got to let Paul George podcast. It's no longer. I mean, hold on. When I joined the show, before I joined, he was Playoff P. When I joined the show, we called him Peppermint Patty P.
Mm-hmm.
Now he need to be gone P. So I don't know. I don't know what you want. But Philly got to start all over. They got to figure out and find a path. They got to be on the Wizards bus, to be honest with you. And everybody that criticized the Wizards all season long. Like this year, they've gotten the growth from the kids, and I know I'm hopping on a bus that I ride. You know what I'm saying? BJ drives from Oak County, so he the bus driver, and I'm one of the passengers. I done paid my $225 to ride to Tinley Town or wherever we go. But I believe in this Wizards, the way the Wizards are building this team. The biggest surprise was this kid AJ Johnson, and I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but I gotta talk about the
No,
Wizards.
go, please go, please go.
Because this kid, they gave up. They sent Kyle Kuzma to the Milwaukee Bucks and got back Middleton and this kid AJ Johnson. This kid AJ Johnson ain't bigger than a fly. He like 6'5", 105. But they get him in a weight program over this all season. He's got skills. He's got the length that they like in terms of wingspan and stuff like that. Pause. It's just going to be a situation where next year when you watch this Wizards team, they may not make the playoffs, but they're going to make you fight because they're going to have 3 draft picks. They pick. I think the way their draft goes is wherever their first round, their top pick is, they have a pick in the top between 10 and 17. And then they have a pick between 21 and 28. And then the kid that I love is Kashawn George and Bub Carrington. Yeah, there's a reason I am so up on the Wizards right now. With Middleton and Smart, they get grown-up possessions. And I don't mean to deviate from my playoff talk, but yeah, this team is going to be better than what we think next year. And I know Jack will shake his head. Look, Jack, send me 5. BJ, send me 5. We're gonna do $15 on whatever the Wizards win total over is, and we're gonna go to, you know what? We're gonna go to Sizzler. We're gonna go to Sizzler with our winnings after the Wizards jump over that over, bro.
You got high hopes, partner.
I'm telling you, man. If they keep Sadiq Bey, bruh, you gonna be on. Yo, we're going to Sizzler.
Well,
I'm sorry, I gotta hit Booney's comments real quick.
Okay.
I haven't been paying attention to the Clippers at all. What's up with Kawhi? Kawhi's playing ball. And I think
he just got back.
Because I think you're gonna say, because I've hung out with you, I think you're gonna say what I'm gonna say. So go ahead.
No, he just got back. He was out for a week or so, week and a half. He just got back about 5 games ago. And they've been gelling over there. Him and Harden been doing well. Kawhi is more of a facilitator. And, Harden can kick out 10 dimes if he wants to. But Kawhi's not really looking first shot first. And he's playing team ball. Kawhi's on fire right now. He's playing hot. Anything you needed to add that I didn't get?
I'm going to add to you like this. I think the last game they played, they both, Harden and Kawhi, had like 10 assists. This is a team that for one of those up and coming teams in the playoffs, it seems like you're ready, but you might not make it past this team, the LA Clippers. They're gonna make some noise. They're gonna make people turn around and watch and pay attention to who they are. You're gonna have to put some respect on their name. And
they're the hottest team in the West right now, Midnight Rider. They done won 7 in a row, and they 9 out of their last 10. So they're the hottest team in the West right now.
Yeah, no argument at all. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is a team you're going to have to watch out for. I think the 2 scariest teams coming into this bracket that are not in the top 3 are the Warriors and the Clippers. Because you want to pack your lunch bag. You have to bring your hard hat.
Warriors, Clippers, and then Bucks in the East. Bucks are hot too. Bucks are 7 in a row.
But when you have a team like Milwaukee, a team that's won it all, they just want to get there. They don't care how they get there. They don't care if they're the 1, the 2, the 3, or the 4. You know what I'm saying? They just want the smoke. They don't care. They got the cigar and the lighter, and all they want is the smoke.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to the Gridiron. Comes to you on Saturday mornings. The greatest fictitious college football show in the land. Actually, in the world, Craig. In the world,
Craig.
And then another comment from Jack. If Kawhi Leonard stays healthy, they can make a little noise, but that's a big if he can stay healthy.
I know, right?
But, if it was a split, we all be high. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'll take Kawhi over any of the other guys, the superstars on the other teams that are like 3 and below. I mean, I love Anthony Edwards, but Kawhi is different. Kawhi can make things change on a team and make a perspective change real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff, guys. Great stuff. Great stuff. Let's touch on the Masters standings right now. Give a quick update. Jack, you want to go run through that real quick?
I don't have live on, but I can get it on.
I thought I had.
While you doing that, Jack, hold on. I got something that's breaking.
I just had end of round 3 numbers and some of the moves that were made on the board, but
I got live.
Jack, hold on. Let me interrupt you guys for 1 second. While you
Sure.
guys do your research, I just got like a breaking story off of ESPN this morning. It's a little sad news, but former LSU wide receiver Kyron Lacey was found dead Sunday night in Houston. Cause of death is unknown, but the kid was accused of causing a crash that killed a 78-year-old man on December 17th. He fled the scene, turned himself in on January 12th. It's a hit and run, reckless operation of a vehicle charge, and now we found the kid dead. And I don't know if he was in a cell or at home. I'm still going through the things because this was released at like 10:38.
Mm-hmm.
It just popped up when I was looking through some other stuff. So I'll try to add context later on, but everything we're going to talk about is going to be allegedly. And back to the Masters talk. Your boy Rory. Rory came out blazing guns yesterday. I think
he did, man. He started out yesterday 7 threes in a row.
Okay.
He was just throwing darts.
And I think DeChambeau is the guy that's right behind him.
Yeah, DeChambeau is 10 under.
strong.
McIlroy is 12 under. DeChambeau behind him, 10 under. Connors is 8 under in third, and then tied for fourth is Reed and a Berg. Both of them are 6 under.
Okay.
So
the way I think they got lucky yesterday because the weather we thought was going to hit really didn't affect the play yesterday. Is that what you were thinking, Jack?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it didn't affect it as much as I thought it was at all. I thought some right nice numbers was put up yesterday, except for Mr. Justin Rose didn't put up good numbers. Oh, good God. That boy tumbled downhill faster than hell, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's what happens when that honey pack don't hit right.
Oh, man.
It's just like the kid. He's been that guy though the whole time. You see him lead on day 1 and 2, and then when the weekend hits, he's gone. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of his issues or the situations that come from the way he plays. He's just not a person that's going to be there. Another tribute, shout out to Michael Jackson. I'll be there, but you don't want to hear that. Go ahead. What you got, Jack?
I was sitting there just trying to look at some of our picks that we made Thursday. You had Cam Smith, Victor Hovland, and Colin Morikawa. Cam Smith missed the cut. Victor's currently in 14th. I did not find Morikawa yet. Keith picked his homeboy, McCarthy, the hometown guy.
Yep.
And Keith also picked Bryson DeChambeau. McCarthy, he took a big tumble as well. I want to say he went from 4th to 30-something.
Yeah, he dropped precipitously.
And then I picked Jason Day, Patrick Reed, and Bubba Watson. And I think Day and Watson made the cut.
After meeting you, that group of 3 makes sense.
Yeah,
Patrick Reed, Bubba Watson, and what's the other guy?
Jason Day.
Yeah, that's a Jack Carr special, y'all.
Well, I'm not a Reed fan. I don't really particularly care for the guy, but I just thought he was going to do something yesterday.
No,
He
this,
really
this is
didn't.
his format. This is a place where he shines. He's got a green jacket. He's one of those guys that he plays in the moment, and I think there are certain courses, and we could probably talk to our guy on Tuesday about this when we do the Tuesday night flight, and we do a recap. But there are courses that certain guys excel at. That's the beauty of golf. You know, like we had Fred Couples up in the top 10 or the top 15 on Thursday. Now he's fallen out because of the fact that his body can't play golf, 4 days in a row at his age at that level. But he can be there for a moment, and I think that's exactly what it was.
Well, right now with the picks, it looks like me and you. Well, Keith's got the highest pick in DeChambeau at number 2, but you got 2 picks that made the cut, and both of them are sitting about 14.
Yeah,
And I got 2 guys that made the cut. Day is at 6, and Reed is at 4. So,
yeah, Hovland didn't have the good day, I thought, and then the most disrespectful sign in the world is that upright with the ball kicking off of it on FanDuel, let you know that your bets ain't hit. That's the most disrespectful thing in the world, bruh.
Yeah, right. And I'm looking for Bubba Watson. I don't know where he finished Saturday.
And Antonio Boone said if was a spliff, bruh. Laughing emojis. Hey man, I just tell it how I see it, bruh. You know how it is. Back to the Mason days, Boney.
So Bubba Watson's currently in 34th. So all three of my picks made the cut, Junior.
It don't matter who makes the cut, who wins. If we ain't talking about first, we ain't talking about
I got more dogs in the race than you. Put it that way.
Yeah, you can have more dogs in the race all you want. It don't matter.
I think Bryson might overtake it.
I think McElroy will fall back to him, and I think your boy's gonna win it. I think DeChambeau's gonna win it.
I want to see McElroy get that slam.
I don't think he's gonna do it. He ain't got the heart for it.
Fighting for it for so long. Well, he's bopping around that course. He's got that Rory bop going on. You can tell the difference when Rory's losing and when Rory's winning by the way he walks.
I hear you, but
when he losing, man, he like this. When he winning, he walks like this.
I'm gonna tell you like this, man. My man Brinston Buckner, former D tackle for the Carolina Panthers, Pittsburgh Steelers, say one thing. He say pressure can make a monkey eat a hot pepper. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, you got it.
I'm just saying. I just think the pressure might get to him in this situation, and he might struggle down the thing, and he might give it away. He might give it up like a wide angle. Well, I'll say it because we done gone so far anyway, but he might give it up like a prostitute on Friday on payday. You know what I'm saying?
I got 2-stroke lead. We'll find out.
Yeah.
What time they teeing off? About 2 o'clock?
I think it's 2 o'clock.
2:30, 2:40, yeah.
Yep. Gentlemen, we were going to go over some NHL playoff standings, but I had to knock on my door. And a gentleman in a black suit, black shades, didn't say a word to me, handed me a note. And the note said NHLs are for Monday drive time.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, but I want to say one thing, NHL. This is the first time in NHL history the Bruins, the Penguins, and the Rangers one of them didn't make the playoffs.
Nugget! Jack's Nugget!
No, ain't my Nuggets. It's just a nugget. But
I'm just saying, look, the more y'all talk about NHL, I'm just saying this gentleman, my blink camera didn't even go off. So I'm just saying,
that's all I have to say.
I'm just saying, drive time got some pull on NHL. Seem like I'm just, No,
that makes sense. That makes sense. And then Boney jumps in and say, "Yo, cut his mic, fellas." Please. I don't know what that means, but I got you.
It means you cut your mic.
Why you cutting my mic? I'm entertainment, baby. Ratings, baby, ratings.
Oh man. So I think it is time, that point of the show, where we are continuing our reverse NFL draft order, gentlemen. Are we there? I think we're there, and we're starting at
One
number
more
12.
week.
One more week.
Yeah. So we
And
do
we're starting-
61 next week, and then probably Tuesday we'll do the official Junkies mock. That's gonna be interesting.
Oh yeah. Hey,
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna do my whole thing and throw it in reverse. You know, I was wondering about the amateurs, and I talked to our PGA guy Keith Hodges about it, and
Keith Hodges.
none of the amateurs made the cut. I don't recall last time I've seen that, but there was this one amateur who was the reigning amateur champ, the reigning U.S. amateur champ. His name is Jose Luis Ballester.
Oh, you talking about Peabody?
My boy got caught pissing in the creek, man. You can't be peeing in Ray's Creek. He got caught peeing in Ray's Creek yesterday. Or I'm sorry, Friday. I thought that was pretty funny. And then we can't
Hey,
let
my man said
Masters
I'll do
go
it again.
without saying farewell to the great Bernard Langer. He played
Yes.
his last Masters, and I think they said he played 41 of them. That's a
Yep.
shitload of them, boy. So, yeah, I just saw a note I had on that, and I figured we had to let everybody know that the guy was pissing in Ray's Creek at Augusta.
Mm. All right, gentlemen, we are at the Dallas Cowboys. As you see, their needs: wide receiver, running back, cornerback, linebacker, defensive line. I really don't know where to go with the Dallas. The Dallas roster is, I don't think is any pick that could push this team above Washington or Philly and the NFC East. I think this team is a team that needs Dak to stay healthy to compete, and that's kind of not been the case the last couple of years. But if anything, if I had to pick something off that list, I'm gonna give Dak some help and go running back. I just don't know who, because now we're to the point now where you're starting to see a lot of names that we've said, especially over the last 6 picks.
Well, let's assume that the one guy, the number one, doesn't fall. So now you're talking about 2. So who's the guy that you think is the number 2 back in this class? I think it's Hampton.
You think it's who?
I think Hampton is the second best running back in this class.
Agree.
Hampton from, where is he from?
Carolina.
When I watch Hampton, I have Arian Foster daydreams. He's got the tall, sleek stature. He's got the smooth running style. He gets in and out of his cuts, but I don't think the Dallas Cowboys go there. But I'm gonna let Jack make his pick before I say what I say. And then when we think about it, think about offense, because you want to bring Dak to life and Dak back to reality. I don't know if you caught the song reference, but it's there.
Go ahead, Jack.
So you said Hampton's from North Carolina, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you said that, but that's who I got Dallas taking at that spot, and I think he is the second running back off the board.
Oh, damn. Well, you made that easy.
He's got home run speed. He can break out. I like him. I mean, I know the Cowboys just picked up that running back from Denver.
Yeah. Javonte
Yeah.
Williams.
But I don't think that's their answer there. I think you pick up a young running back like this, and he'll be there.
So I'm glad you did that, because that's the perfect segue. I think Williams makes them wait a little bit, and I don't think Hampton goes here. From if the fall that is happening happens, I think they take the kid Tutoria McMillan, wide receiver Arizona, in this spot, because I think his tape is making teams question a little bit. And if they don't go there, I think they skip running back because this draft has about 30 running backs that could get drafted. So your value is gone a little bit on running back. And if the kid from Michigan falls here, Will Johnson is a guy that I can see in this spot. But I don't know if he makes it past the Panthers at 8. But just in case he falls, he's a suggestion that I would put on this. And then the last thing, I think that the Cowboys might want to go. I know it's not in their needs, but they just lost the dude Martin from Notre Dame. So I can see them going guard here and drafting a guy like the kid Tyler Booker from Alabama. So that's kind of where I'm not making commitments now. This is our mock. So
I got Dallas needing a guard. You don't have that?
I didn't have it on this list. So this might have been like NFL.com before everything came out.
I put my needs down when we started doing this. So that was what, 3-4 weeks ago?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's definitely and
It's changed.
Everybody's needs have changed with some movement and stuff.
Right.
Like I said, I say it all the time. The game is won in the trenches. Like if you get a running back, it's cool, but if nobody's there blocking for him,
It don't matter.
It doesn't matter. If you got Dak back there running for his life, it don't matter. If you get on the field and you can't stop the run, it doesn't matter. You got that star linebacker. So I think Dallas has a lot of needs, and they got to kind of decide, with the 12th pick, who's sitting there. So let me ask you a question: Where is Henderson on y'all running back list? Where does he rank? The kid from Ohio State.
So he's 3 for me.
Okay.
I really, 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 really like him.
What?
I don't know.
Henderson? You say you got Henderson going 3rd?
No, he's not the number 3 running back.
Oh, number 3. Yeah, he'd already been picked up like around 2024. I thought in our draft.
Yeah, we did in one of our versions. We. But no, I think he's the 3rd guy off the board. But I think Henderson has got this explosiveness, and I think it's really going to come down to what happens, because I think this draft is not like we can do all the mocks we want, but I think when we get to draft day, I think we're gonna have utter chaos, because from 20 to I think they're saying from 20 to 30 to 45 or something like that. It's a bunch of guys that are all the same. So I think what teams are going to do is move around and get their guy. They're going to find the girl that they like in the club and make sure they dance with her instead of waiting later on. So I think you're going to see some teams move up, jump some people and things like that. Like this isn't going to be chalk from what I've heard and then just what I've been seeing. And just from the way it plays out, I don't see chalk. Like we can do a mock till we blue in the face, but I don't think nothing's going to stand in line.
Agree.
Okay. With that being said, let's move up 1 to the 11th pick in the draft, the San Francisco 49ers. This one, like I said, this needs is an old need, so it hasn't been updated. Defensive line, edge, offensive line, running back, cornerback.
What's the current needs, if you got it?
It says defensive line, offensive line, and defensive back.
Okay.
So not too far off. This is we've said this name a lot, but it just depends on, like you said, it's a lot of guys that do different things but feel the same need, and I think it's going to be what system they came from, the rap sheet on them, everything. This is when you really have to do your research as your GM, your scouts and stuff, because if you got guys graded the same, something has to separate them. Something has to make them a fit, because they still have to be, they could be the same position, but they still have to be a fit for your system and your team. So this is where Kenneth Grant name keeps getting thrown around. We've said this name the last two or three Sundays. We said this name. It just depends on where they go. Will Campbell, the tackle from LSU. It just depends. I mean, if you of course you got to protect. We just said it with Dak. You got to protect Purdy. I think the way NFL has ran the last couple of years, you don't necessarily need to draft a running back. If you got a good offensive line and good scheme, you can find you a running back somewhere. You know, it doesn't have to be in the first round. So I think if I'm
What's up,
there, I'm
young
going.
fella?
They said hi. No, not yet.
Hi. It's time to.
I'm gonna go Will Campbell here. I'm gonna go offensive line. It is 12-16, isn't it?
See?
Okay, go ahead.
I can play.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
I think San Francisco at the number 11 spot is probably. I think they're going to replace Debo, and that's what that wide receiver that Midnight Rider mentioned
Victoria McMillan.
earlier with McMillan from Arizona. That's what I think San Francisco is going to do now. That's what I think they're going to do now is go wide receiver route because he's one of the better wide receivers up there. And if he makes it this long, that'd be a plus for San Francisco. I think he could get taken a little earlier, but some of the guys earlier really need defense. So I think they're going to pass on a threat like McMillan to go defense. So San Fran, McMillan, wide receiver, Arizona is my pick at 11.
I think the wide receiver kid that they would want is going to be later because they got Pearsall. They got what's the best friend for Jaden McDaniels? Ayuk. They got Ayuk. So I think they'll wait a little bit on that spot. But I like your thinking because San Fran does need an infusion on the offensive side. I'm gonna take you guys out of the first round and into a later round situation. I think a kid that will fit in San Fran's running system is a kid, Dylan Sampson, that plays at Tennessee. So you look at him in the 4th, 5th round, you see that name go to San Fran, just be like Midnight Rider was on that, all right? Because they're not drafting a running back in the first round. It ain't gonna happen unless Genty somehow falls in their lap. We got the Will Johnson kid, cornerback from Michigan, possibility. O-line, the kid Banks from Texas is another option, but I think he goes in the pick before this to the Bears. I think they want, because they got to replace the safeties they have, I think this is a good spot for either Malachi Starks or Nick Imowama.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the spot for one of those two guys. And I think with them losing their baby Palomalu, I think this is a spot where this could happen.
I feel you.
Jack, you want to go next, or you want me to go? Well, we finished with San Francisco.
Yeah, we're finished with San Fran.
Good. Okay. So number 10,
Go.
Chicago Bears. Their needs: offensive line, defensive line, running back, safety, and tight end. Here's the thing. Caleb Williams took 68 sacks last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so to me, they have one need and one need only. So I'm going to do something that we haven't done yet. I'm the Chicago GM. If I can trade this pick, right? And I'm not talking about jumping out the first round or anything, but if I can, because right here, I think, and Midnight Rider said it, I think from 10 to 30, you're loaded. You got a lot of kids that are really good that can come in and help your team. I trade back a couple of picks. Try to pick up another, it depending on what the deal is, another late first round pick or another second round pick where you could pick 2 or 3 times in the second round. You have to take care of offensive line here. And that kid I just said, Will Campbell, this might be a spot for him, but because you have so many needs, they don't have Keenan Allen anymore. The one they got from so you now you need somebody for Caleb to throw the ball to, so you have a need there. So you have a list of needs you have to address on offense, which is that line. He cannot take 68 sacks, and you expect his team and his offense to move forward. So I'm going to invoke a trade. I'm going to go back, see if I can pick up. We got some people out here. you might have a team, their guy's still there at 10, and they're gonna give you the house. If that's there and you can still have your first round pick 20, 21, 22, and pick up another pick, I'm making that pick. I'm making that trade. So I don't have a pick here. They have to address offensive line. They have to find somebody for Caleb Williams to throw to. They got their new coach, Ben Johnson. I'm going to trade back. I'm going to try to get some more assets to take care of a couple of more things.
Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I definitely think there's going to be some trading in the area of, say, the top 4 picks. I think they're going to want that quarterback. They're going to want Cam Ward. And I'm not sure what team's going to make that move yet, but someone's going to make that move. And then there's going to be a lot of trading, say, 17 to 30, 17 to 32, you know. I think there's going to be a lot of trading in that area. I wouldn't be surprised if Washington does a trade to pick up maybe another couple draft picks. For the Chicago Bears at the 10 spot, I got them getting that big edge rusher from Texas A&M. I know they need offensive line, but I think they can do that further on down in the draft. I don't think they need to get that offensive lineman with this number 1 pick, and I think getting an edge rusher like Shamar Stewart is worth using your number 10 pick to get him. So that's where I'm at. I think they're going to wait to start getting into that offensive line. I think at the 10 spot is where you go best available.
I think this pick is 4 names, and that's easy 4. It's either Banks, it's the guy that Jack said, Stewart from Texas A&M. If Genty's still on the board, you take Genty and you don't look back, because Ben Johnson came from a system with
that would be sick.
Jamar Gibbs. So hold on, because there's a caveat to this. Because if they believe in Sweat, the kid they got from Philly, then they may later on go with a kid like Davey Martinez from Miami. So that way you got your Sonic and whatever the other guy's name is from the cartoons. Maybe Lil BJ can help us on that. But I think here for the Bears, personally, this is the one time I'm not gonna give you a bunch of names. I'm gonna take the pick. And the pick I'm making is Tyler Warren from Penn State, the tight end. Because now you add an option to this offense where you're making a dynamic tight end, you got a playmaker, and you give the kid something else to look at. Because you can get a running back. This is a draft that there's gonna be 30 running backs taken. So you can get a running back. Running back doesn't have to go here, you don't have to get elite. You can dance with the devil in the pale moonlight on your running back selection. But I think they get the tight end here, and they make the world difference. And I wouldn't even be surprised, because of Chicago's style of play with Ben Johnson, they may not take Warren here. They may take Coaston Loveland because he's the better route runner. So that's where I got what I got. If you want to put me with some options here, I think it's one of the 2 tight ends. I don't know which one they're going to pick.
That sounds good. I'm trying to get back to him. Of course, I was playing around with something. All right, so New Orleans Saints are on the clock. 9th pick. Their needs: cornerback, offensive line, wide receiver, DL, and QB. Listen to it. There's another one right here. I'm the GM. I think they just got news that they may not have Derek Carr for the season coming up. So this changes the whole board. If I'm the New Orleans Saints, they got the 9th pick, the 40th pick in the 2nd round, and the 71st pick in the 3rd round. This is where I'm trying to trade up to one of these teams that doesn't need a quarterback. Carolina doesn't need a quarterback. The Jets, I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback. The Raiders, I don't think going to draft a quarterback. The Jaguars aren't going to draft a quarterback, right? If you can move up one of these teams, because we assume that Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are going to be off the board between 1 and 3, somewhere between there, right? So I look.
I don't think they're gonna be gone that early.
You know,
I think
we
Cam's one.
Cam's
Shador,
one.
Shador is the drifter.
So if you feel confident, you need a quarterback because you're not going into the season with
Right.
Spencer Rattler as your quarterback, and then
Or Jake Hurd, right?
You're not doing that. And then I think this news just was fresh, so maybe they would have been in the sweepstakes for Russell Wilson or Justin Fields if they had known this was the key. But I think that Derek Carr experiment is over. So it depends on if you're in love with Shador, you make that move up. If you like Jackson Dart, you make that move up. Or if you think he's going to fall to you there, that's something you can do. It just depends on, what you want to do here. But I think that this is something where you have to address that quarterback need now. So this is another area I might be looking to trade up. I don't have a pick. I'm looking to trade up and try to get my QB of the future here.
Jack.
Yeah, New Orleans. They're definitely not going with Spencer Rattler, interception machine.
Hey, if the ball don't hit the ground, it's completion.
Then, like I say, I think there's going to be a lot of mix-up up here to where the board's going to come down a lot different than what we got. But if it stayed like this, I would go New Orleans taking Shador Sanders in this spot. I think he should go higher, but I just think New Orleans wants him, and that's what they're going to do.
Dude, I tell you, one day hanging out with me, man, you got a whole lot smarter. I tell you. But that's the pick I got. You know what I'm saying? I got Shador Sanders right here. I think Shador I think Cleveland and the Giants like somebody else. I think they like either your boy Jackson Dart. I think, honestly, the Giants like Milroe. And I think one of those two teams or both are going to trade back into the first round late. And I think Shador falls to them. And if Shador doesn't fall to the Saints, I think the Saints become one of those teams that they're going to come back into the first round late, trade into that 29 to 31 window or 32 window, and get their quarterback there. And that's where you see Jackson Dart or I think Dart has too many flaws to be in the top 10 of a draft. I'm sorry. I know he's your guy, but there's some flaws some things I don't like.
Did you say something about Warren going to Chicago?
Yes.
It would be a blessing if they could get him there, but I don't think Warren drops out of the top 5.
Okay. So that's why I gave you the caveat of Colston Loveland. Because I think Chicago's going to I love me Cole Kmet because he's a Notre Damer. But I think they need to be more dynamic at tight end. And with him at tight end and with the two guys you have on the outside, you got Sweat. You add a running back later on to give Knuckles. That's the guy. It's Sonic and Knuckles. And you add you a Knuckles type of running back. You get one of these kids like Davey Martinez out of Miami. You get one of these bumping grinders, as I call them. You know what I'm saying? They don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. As long as you don't penal them, I guess. I don't know. But that's another story. But running backs are the key for the Saints. For Chicago late. But back to the Saints. I think it's Shador 1. I think it's Will Johnson 2. I think Campbell's off the board with the Pats, honestly. So I don't see Campbell being here. I don't see, unless they love Banks, that might be an option. Wide receiver, we're back to McMillan, but I don't see them drafting McMillan because you ain't got nobody getting the ball. And then maybe you do Shamar Stewart because they need somebody to replace Cameron Jordan, who's on his 15th year. So that's how I see theirs playing out. So with that being said,
The Carolina Panthers at number 8. The Panthers have the 8th and then the 57th pick from the Rams, from a Rams trade in 2024, and then they own their own pick at 74 in the 3rd round. The Panthers defense gave up the most points in NFL history last season, 534.
Wow.
So that's why I'm gonna start right there. Mikael Williams from Georgia, edge rusher, or Will Johnson, defensive back from Michigan. Their needs on the screen, I'm sorry, edge, safety, wide receiver, cornerback, defensive line. Where I have it updated, wide receiver, defensive back, edge rusher. I think between the two, if I'm a pick, I go Mikael Williams from Georgia, even though the secondary was really bad. I just think that whoever's there, I don't think you can go wrong with either pick. You need help on defense. You need some type of building block. And, if you think Mikael Williams is going to be that rusher that disrupts everything, you go there, because we always say if you got the pass rush, it's going to make the secondary look better.
Mhm.
So those are my two picks for the Panthers at number 8, gentlemen.
Go ahead, Jack.
Okay. With the Panthers at number 8, I like one of the best edge rushers in this draft if he makes it this low. Jalon Walker out of Georgia. I really enjoyed watching him this year. And I think Walker could really help that Carolina defense out. Definitely do. So Jalon Walker out of Georgia going to Carolina at number 8 for me.
Yo, I don't know if it was the shank on your burger or whatever, but I'm telling you, you're getting smarter by the day, yo. Just from hanging out with me. That's exactly what I
It was
think.
that one beer I drank.
Yeah, that one beer took you to a whole nother level, baby. But no, that's exactly what I get. I think Jalen Walker is one of those special ends. I think if Carolina is smart enough, they'll move him around, try to take advantage of his speed and his athleticism, because he's not really a true edge. I think he's a outside linebacker.
Combo. Yeah.
Like if you're in a 3-4, he's the outside. In a 4-3, he's the DN. But I think he's a guy that you make him a chameleon, put him in different places, and take advantage of his speed advantage and his physicality. This kid single-handedly took over the college playoffs on certain occasions, and I don't have any other pick but him at this spot. This is the one time you ain't got to worry about me going down the shopping cart, because if they don't take him, then something wrong. Dan Morgan, they need to check Dan Morgan's concussion history from Miami if he don't take Jalen Walker.
And with that being said, we move on to the number 7th pick in the draft, the New York Football Jets. Their needs: offensive line, wide receiver, tight end, safety, defensive line. They updated needs fall in line with that: offensive line, wide receiver, defensive back. We've been throwing a couple of names around there, and I think that if you want to set Justin Fields up for success, you go get Tyler Warren.
Yes, sir.
You go get Tyler Warren. If for some reason Warren's not there, McMillan from Arizona, that wide receiver, because with Aaron Rodgers gone, they got rid of Devontae Adams also. So you just got Garrett Wilson out there on the island. And I think this is a team that y'all heard me say I like the Jets defense, but it's one of those things when your offense keeps going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. You don't really get to see the defensive shine because they get tired quicker. You don't really get those big gashes on the runs. You get those big plays because they keep, the offense can't sustain drives. They keep putting the defense on the field. So you got the Williams brothers. I always like their defense. I just think they need an offense to supplement them so they guys can get off the field and get some rest. This is where I'm going. You believe in Justin Fields. I believe he got 2 years, $40 million. You believe in him. You got to go get him some help. All right? You got to go get him some help. And what better than a tight end to save you?
Yep.
Tyler Warren. That's where I'm going.
Okay. Well,
Well,
I think the New York Jets are going to go. I think the New York Jets are going to go in a different direction than that. They got this. Here's a career lineman here. If you get that boy from Missouri, Armand Membao. He big. He's powerful. He's quick. He's a top-notch lineman, and I think that the Jets are going to take him just because he's the best. I think he'll be the best available at 7 for the Jets and what they need. So I think the Jets are going to go offensive line is where I'm going with that at the number 7, Midnight Rider.
No, so I think, again, one day hang with me, man. It's amazing how your sports knowledge has just jumped up through the roof, man. I tell you, man, it's like the touch, man. It's like the glow. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know what I'm saying? You know, the master, show enough. Like I'm your show enough to your Leroy, bruh. But with that being said, yeah, I think the 2 picks of what you guys said. I think it's Mimba or Warren. Whatever's left. And once we do a draft the real way,
if Warren's there,
yes. Yeah, if they're both there, yes. No doubt about it. The only other person that comes in this selection to me is they take Walker. But I don't see that's because the other 2 are off the board. That's the only way they go Walker.
It's gonna get tricky here.
Yeah, tricky.
Ladies and gentlemen, last but not least for this Sunday, we go to the Las Vegas Raiders, the number 6 pick in the draft. The Raiders also have the 37th pick in the 2nd round and the 68th pick in the 3rd round. Their team needs offensive line, running back, defensive line. I have one pick here, and I've looked at a lot of mocks, and I see this name here a lot. Ashton Jeanty. I think this is where the Raiders picked him up, the number 1 running back on the board, and give Geno Smith a little bit of help right here. You got the Tom Brady minority owner era coming into play now. So I think this is where Jeanty goes to the Raiders, get some ground help going. Of course, they have Pete Carroll now and Chip Kelly as their offensive coordinator. So, yeah, I think you're going to see them use Jeanty as Pete Carroll had with Marshawn Lynch in Seattle. So it's going to be interesting to see that kid go there. But that's where I got at number 6 for the Raiders. Jack, what you got?
Well, you know, I'm looking ahead to next week at that number 5 spot, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars that will be picking ahead of the Raiders. So if Jeanty doesn't go to Jacksonville, I pencil him in here at Vegas. I had Jeanty down going to Vegas right now, but I went back and looked to see who was in front of the Raiders, and it's the Jaguars. You know, they've been working on that Travis Etienne experiment for a couple years now. The young man, I like him, but he just can't stay healthy. So I think they're going to try to get a home run hitting running back to take some of the pressure off of Goldilocks back there. Damn. What's his name?
Ashton Jeanty?
No, the quarterback, the Goldilocks, the long hair boy. Trevor Lawrence from Clemson. I think they could bring in this home run hitting running back to take some of the pressures off of Trevor Lawrence back there, and maybe he can work some play action in. But you know, when you had Etienne and the backup running backs when he was out, they just weren't. The defenses weren't fearing the running back over there in Jacksonville. So that's the only thing I think might stop Vegas from getting Jeanty is if Jacksonville picks him first.
I love the setup, man. Now you out here dishing assists like Deron Williams back in the days at Utah. You know what I'm saying?
I've been dishing assists, bro.
You say
Meaning
that.
You ain't had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll figure that out later on. But no, seriously, I think I like where Jack's head is at, his thought process, both the guys. But the reason I didn't really make a banner for this, because if it ain't Ashton Jeanty, I don't know what you're doing. The only other person I can see getting taken here is Shedeur Sanders to get your quarterback spot secured for the next couple years. And the only reason I kind of take Jacksonville out of the equation, because I think Jacksonville wants to get a lineman. I think they're going to go Campbell, the guy from LSU that we've been talking about. I think he goes at 5.
Okay.
They secure their line, and then they come back maybe with this. I think BJ said they had their second pick, so maybe their second or third pick, they take one of the running backs there. They get a kid like, I think for real, if Jacksonville wants to upgrade their run game, they take the kid in the second round, Quinshawn Judkins from Ohio State. He used to be at Ole Miss, but the way that kid runs the football and the way he blocks, he was the reason
running back, right?
Yeah, he was the reason that you were able to get the whole Henderson experience, because he was able to take some carries off of that kid and let him shine. But I think Quinshawn Judkins to Jacksonville in the second round is how that plays out. And now you got Judkins and Campbell, and because the Midnight Rider has a type, and any running back with the last name Etienne doesn't make sense to me because they ain't got no legs. They fall if you touch them. So yeah, bleep the Etienne brothers. Sorry.
And that wraps up our reverse draft order 12-6. Next week, 6 to number 1 next week. We wrap it up next week. So
Yep.
5 to 1. 5 to 1. We wrap it up next week. So definitely tune in for that. Gentlemen.
Oh, hold on. Hey, Jack, you got your controls, or somebody got the controls to get us to what you're eating? Because I guess that's
y'all figure out the
What
controls, but we are in that part of the show to what are you eating today?
Thank you.
What are you eating today? Man, I think the wife wants to do meatballs today, homemade meatballs. I don't know what she's pairing with it. I have to get with her, but I think that's the area we're going to. So maybe I'll update y'all. But yeah, that's like a 60% possibility for me. And liquor.
Okay.
Jack's getting chicken parm.
Chicken parm? Chicken parm, Jack?
No, that red meat yesterday got me, boy. Who cooking? But
Yo, hold on. Come on. I gotta let y'all know, man. The Gentleman Jack. No, hold on. I know what you about to do, but give me a second. I feel like Kanye West. Beyonce had the better album. Calm down, Taylor Swift. But no, the Gentleman Jack is. This isn't a thing. This isn't a bit. This, like, Jack Carr on this show is Jack Carr in real life. There's no stunt doubles. There's nothing. The Joker says everything he does. Like, oh my gosh. I want us to give him a shout out because I had a blast yesterday. I was like debating. I was like, maybe I'll reschedule. And then the Joker came into the barbershop.
Oh, if you would have rescheduled, I'd have busted you up.
But still, it was just like, yo, it was a good time, man.
I rolled right up in the barbershop, B.
Yeah.
I rolled right up in there. He ain't right coming in.
I think it's called Barbershop Live. Shout out to my boy Mello, and all the barbers there. I posted on my Instagram one of the cuts. I might post it in the thing. They hooked this dude, Latino kid, up with a little fade joint with the hair up top. Yo, that joint was tough. I made sure I asked him. I was like, yo, we ain't got no warrants or nothing because I want to take a picture of this shit, right? like, yeah, for real. Like, no, I don't want to get you caught up.
Didn't seem like that kind of barbershop.
But still, you never know. But no, it was one of the coolest barbershops to ever go to. I know Jack's wife wonders why, and you're right, Jack. It's the ambiance, and then it's the fact that my barber is my boy, and hopefully we can get his B-side bodega on the Sideline Junkies network to drop that every now and then. But it was a fun time. I enjoyed hanging out with Jack. I told my sister when I left, I was like, I know why we bump heads. It's like we got the same, like the personalities is too close. Like he's the mayor. Wherever he goes, he's the mayor. And wherever I go, I'm the mayor. So I get it. Like I get the reason why like this like when you see this on air, it ain't because we hate each other. It's because we too much alike.
Yeah, man. Yep.
But
That's what's up.
respect, love. What did the wife say when you got home? She said, "Did the Midnight Rider get you home safely?" Because I know they was busting your balls about us saying
yeah. Like I said, I stopped a couple more places on the way home, and then when I got over here on the island, she hit me up, said, "You over here yet?" I said, "Yeah, just got over the bridge." She said, "Go get me some cream of crab soup." So I had to go down to Cameron, where Cameron was working at Kentmore Restaurant.
Okay.
I picked up some cream of crab soup, made another TikTok, gave him a shout out on the junkies and some cream crab soup.
Yo,
But, yeah, no, it was cool. I guess I got home about 6 o'clock.
Okay. I need that white Kent Island hat, yo.
That's special edition. That's only for special occasions.
Dog, I need the white Kent Island joint, dog. You know dog. Hold on.
Do.
You know I am number one in the junkies right now. You know what I'm saying?
There's not many of those in circulation.
Matty Ice is not higher than me on the junkie ratings in the Jack Carr household. If we pull the whole house, I'm one.
Nah,
like everybody else. Cam
white Kent Island hat's hard to come across, man.
I'm just telling you, Cam got me at 1. I know the wife has me at 1 or 2 because she likes KG's hair. So I can understand she got me at 2 for KG's hair. But if we do a consensus of the Carr house, I'm the favorite junkie. I'm telling y'all right now.
I don't know.
What are you guys eating?
That don't get you a white hat.
What y'all eating today? What you eating today, Jack?
I'll go now.
So, like I said, man, nah, I'm going. And then the red meat got me, but I wanted to make some steaks this evening, but I don't know, man. Like I say, tummy rumbling. We might just do some pork tenderloin and some rice and stuff, is what my wife said. Something kind of bland to calm big guy's stomach down.
I got you.
So now, what you eating?
I've gotten to the point that it's 12 o'clock. I didn't go to the store this morning, so we ordering.
We calling in somebody.
Yeah, we calling somebody. I think we going Caribbean Grill if they
you going to stop it. You're calling Sardi's. Stop the bullshit.
No, I'm not calling Sardi's.
You're going to Sardi's. You're going to a different location.
It's not Sardi's. I know what you're thinking. You think it's Sylvester's.
Sylvester's. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That's what you're thinking.
Sylvester.
Nah. I think I'm going Caribbean
That's what
Grill.
That's what he calling.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm going Caribbean Grill today. If they available on the app.
Anyway,
give me
some grocery store in 3 weeks.
Already making excuses. If they available on the app, they're available now. They're available.
We'll see.
It has to be an excuse to go to Sylvester's and order that. Put you on your ass platter. The fajita platter.
That platter, yo, dog. I swear to God, I had 3 meals and a 4th possible off of that meal I had last time. But we've given out too many shameless plugs, man. Let's get out of here, man.
We are. Hey, look, like always, thank everybody for watching, supporting. Thank you for the comments. Our next show will be Tuesday Night Flight with these 2 gentlemen and our newly appointed golf expert. What's his name, Jack?
Keith Hodges will be on Tuesday to give us a wrap up of this Masters.
We gotta find him a nickname too.
Keith Hodges.
You know the big guy does the nickname, so when he get back in, that'll be one of his first things on his nickname for Keith Hodges, golf expert.
I know that's all we called him back in the day was Hodges.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
nah, but
we'll get one. We'll figure one out.
Everybody has to have their own nickname, whether it's Thanos, whether it's Matty Ice. No matter what it is, you get a nickname.
That's right. That's right. So
Yeah.
once again, thank everybody
Yep.
for the support. Like I said, next Tuesday night flight, we'll see you then. But you know the saying, we don't do no overtime. We lie about that every week. But we out of here.